you've journaled, you've done the affirmations, you listened to all the podcasts, read the books, joined the groups, went to the seminars, you know all the things, but nothing is working. You still feel stuck and you feel like you're in the same place running in a circle. Okay? It's because you're only using 5% of your brain. Now, that may not be true, but that's just what I'm going to say for this video, okay? All right? We're going to say that this 5% is the left brain. This is the editor, the analyzer, the part that already has an opinion, okay? So you can't change it. It's programmed. And this is why you keep hitting your glass ceiling, as I like to call it. This is what is stopping you. Your glass ceiling. You cannot see it, but it's there. You can feel it. Okay, and you're trying to reprogram yourself using the same system that's running the old program. If this is running the show, your left brain, there's no way that you're going to change it. That's the whole saying. You can't get yourself out of a situation with the same thinking that got you into it. But how do we change our thinking? How do we reprogram ourselves? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Okay, I want to show you this. So I'm going to attempt to draw it out. And we're going to see how this goes, okay? Obviously, I'm using my right hand right now. What I want to show you is how to use your non-dominant hand to draw. Now, we don't need to take all day long. This is just one way we can start to tap into our subconscious mind to begin to reprogram. In my other videos, I talk about us changing our state, and this is still true. This is just one way or another way we can do that. Okay, our state of being is physiologically, it is our body. Okay, let's say that this is our brain, not our mind, but our brain. This is our body. All right, so our brain, again, I guess we can draw this left side. Okay, our brain is going to try and process the information. That's the therapy, the journaling. Now, there's different modalities of therapy, of course. So there's like talk therapy and stuff. That's trying to process the information, which we do need that for certain seasons of our life and certain points. Okay. But then there's also other types of therapies like somatic therapy, TRE, EFT tapping. These are very important and useful. Okay. And other ways that we can get into our body. They're all about getting into our body, because instead of thinking our way out using the same programming, we are going to use our right brain. Now, what I'm talking about is getting into flow state. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard about flow state. There's a book called Deep Work. I believe it's by Cal Newport. If I'm not mistaken, I just listened to the summary because I already understand like flow, and maybe eventually I'll read it. But flow, for me, some would even say a mystical experience is what it is when you get into flow. Flow is when you lose track of time. It's when you're doing something that you enjoy so much that you lose track of time. It goes by fast, and it comes easy to you. A lot of times, and maybe even in that Deep Work, I don't know if they talk about it in there, or this is somewhere else that I saw this, but your challenge, I believe that's on this side, okay? The level of challenge versus your skill level, okay? If the challenge is high, but your skill level's low, that's not very good. Okay, if your skill level is here and the challenge is here, that's a good flow state, right? But, if not, then maybe I need to read the book. But the curvature is different, okay? I hope you can understand what I'm saying here is that if your skill level matches the challenge, you enter flow state. If it does not, the challenge is higher than your skill level, you're not going to hit flow state. So in order to hit flow state, your skill level needs to match the challenge. Otherwise, you get frustrated. Otherwise, you feel like it's not even challenging you. This is why some kids don't pay attention in school, right? Because either they're too smart, it's not very challenging, or it's too challenging and it's just too much. So when you find that sweet spot, that's when we can hit flow state. And this is where everything around us kind of dissolves. Nothing else matters. Time slows down in a sense, but it also speeds up in a sense. Like in the moment, you feel like it's slowed down because you're just in it. Nothing else matters. But then when you come out of it, you're like, whoa, 2 hours passed. What happened? What did I even do? It's kind of crazy how it happens, but it is. I love to call this like a time warp. Okay. I believe this is also where we can quantum jump, time leap, all the words, all the things. Okay. But this is really us getting more into the right side of our brain. That's what we're going to be doing in this video. Before I get into me actually drawing with my left hand, all right, and we're going to see how that goes, I want to really explain this so you understand what I'm talking about. The thing is, your left brain being the editor, so any information that comes in, it's going to say yes, no, do this, do that. Okay, this is your logic. This is critical thinking. This is your subjective mind based off your experiences. Okay, your right brain is more about imagery, pattern recognition, your emotions. Okay, this is why a lot of people who are more logically minded, which I probably lean more there. I can go back and forth, but leaning more there because I like my strategies and plans and things like that and organizing. It's hard to express and even understand our emotions. And I had to go on a journey of that myself, which is why a lot of what I talk about is about our feelings and how to express them and how to process them out of our bodies, because I had to do that myself. Okay. So this being in our right brain is like surpassing all of this information that's blocking us. Let's say that this is our subconscious mind and this will be the programming. Okay. So to reprogram, there's no way we can go through the software that's already there because this is set. Like your mind is set. This is a fixed mind. Okay. So to get there, let's just say that this little box is in our brainstem and stuff. And this isn't necessarily how this all works, but just visually to explain it to you, we're going to go, well, how about I do this? We're going to go from our right brain through a processor to reprogram. Okay. Ignore this brain part right here for this part. Because this is going to regulate your body. This is our core beliefs in our subconscious mind. And our body's temperature changes based off of, let's say, our emotions and our pattern recognitions of subconscious things. And so then it's going to say, because I feel this way, that must mean whatever my program says. And again, this is the glass ceiling. So I can only go as high as what my programming is. So speaking directly to the subconscious mind, okay, the structures that hold our beliefs, that hold our emotional memory and our nervous system patterns, okay, this is going to be uncomfortable, but because you're not using your left side of your brain, we're going to be able to reprogram ourselves faster. Okay, it's going to feel uncomfortable because you're doing something you're not used to. But that's a part of the process, though. That's why it actually helps. And then once your skill level reaches the challenge level of doing this, you're going to be able to hit flow state. And this is when you can put your body into a physical state, physiological state, okay, to where we can program easier. All right. So what I'm showing you today is just different ways to use a skill to meet the challenge, okay, so that you can get into flow state. Now, again, flow state could be movement to music without any choreography, because you don't want choreography because that's your left brain, because you're trying to do 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you're trying to remember all the steps, okay? We don't want that. We want flow. So that means no choreography, just the music. What do you feel? Let your body move, okay? This is also visualization with your full senses ready to go in detail. Not just images, but smells, textures, sounds, taste. Going deep into that, using your imagination for that. Okay, I used to be very good at daydreaming. I kind of lost that at a certain point. Working on getting that back. But daydreaming is using your imagination and visualizing. That's all that is. Okay. Also humming, singing, humming a tune. Again, we don't need to stay structured on what it sounds like and the beat and the rhythm. but just doing it to do it, just to get into flow. We can walk and whistle, or we can just walk. Just the movement of walking, getting into flow. No distractions, nothing for the logical mind to be thinking about. Just allowing whatever happens to unfold. That's smelling the roses. You stop and we just embrace the moment. It's being present in the now is what this is about. When you're present in the now and whatever you're doing, the challenge meets your skill level, what you're able to do and capable of doing to where you don't have to think about it, then we get into flow state. When we get into flow state, again, this is our state, and this is where we want to start at to reprogram our mind. When we get into the state, now, like I said, we can reprogram our mind. So we want to get here. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing what we're doing, okay? This requires presence. That's it. Your state requires presence. This is being in the now. This is where the magic happens. Here, if we can get into flow state, matching our skill level to whatever we're doing without thinking about it logically, using that 5%, we can tap into the other 95. We can tap into what's in our DNA. We can tap into the information that's already in our body. We can tap into the fact that our body can heal itself and regenerate itself. I mean, my goodness, we can get our skin cut, be bleeding, break a bone, and we heal. Yes, it may take time, but we heal and we regenerate. We create life. We have energy in us already. But to use it, okay, to understand it, takes presence. And you need to practice this. So let's get into it. I'm just going to do real quick. It doesn't have to be long. I'm going to do like a 60-second left hand drawing. I'm going to draw whatever I'm feeling right now, whatever wants to come out. Okay. And again, I don't need to focus on the timer. I could set a timer and not look at it, because then the timer is going to tell me when the time is up. So I don't need to think about it. I don't need to keep looking at the clock. I go until I hear that noise. I don't have a timer right now, but I'm just going to go and draw for a little bit and see what happens. Okay. I have the time. I have the space. So I'm going to allow myself this. All right. So I'm just going to draw whatever is coming up, whatever I'm feeling right now. Right now, I feel a little sweaty. I'm beside the window. The sun is coming through. So maybe I'll draw a sun. Okay. And sweat dripping off of me. Okay. Well, here I am. Okay. That sweat drooping off of me. I mean, I'm not sweating that much, but that's what it feels like. Why my eye look like that? Oh my, yeah, okay. I mean, my mouth's a little dry, so I'm going to take a sip of my drink here. Okay. And, oh my, yeah, my face is a little crazy, but I am in a good mood. I've been recording, batch recording, so, I got some energy right now. I got up, did my movement, my flow that I do in the morning, get my chi going, stretch my body, get my fascia loosened up. And so, I'm in a good mood. And I'm recording, which I feel productive doing that in my flow state at this point. So I'm just going to keep going and knock out a few of these videos so that I can schedule them out. And we're going to go as long as my phone storage allows. But yeah, so in a happy mood. Yeah, I'm sweating. I'm sitting here, so my butt feels a little numb at this point. Oh, that don't look right, but what can we do? All right. And I would love to go outside and be next to these trees and everything that's out there that I can see out my window right now. It is sunny. I'm sure it's warm, but that's okay. I did just retwist my hair. So I would love to jump in some water, but I'm going to record these videos before I do that. Okay. So sweating. But I feel good. So, that was at least 60 minutes right there. So me just doing that, I was focused on just drawing and seeing what came out. And the reason why I use my non-dominant hand, even though it felt uncomfortable, it looks real childlike. Okay, doesn't make me look like I'm some professional artist. Kind of awkward for some of it. But that resistance was my left side of the brain trying to fix things. Okay, and also wanting to do it a certain way, but it couldn't. So that was, uncomfortable. And I noticed that, but I didn't have to change it. I just let it happen. Okay. And this is what we are trying to tap into, though, is being able to get into this flow state, even though that side is trying to fight for control again. And the more I can get into this flow state and allow that time for me to just be present, I'm training myself that it's okay. I can also, when I'm in this, get ideas. Like, I wasn't necessarily thinking about going outside and taking a walk, but I want to go do that now. Okay. Something else I do and I love to do are collages, because drawing isn't necessarily my strong suit. Okay. I do like to paint. Just got some pastels and stuff, but a lot of my paints and things are in my storage unit in a different state right now. Okay. But I do like to collage, and that's something that I picked up over like the last year and a half, or about year and a half now. And I'll pick up any paper paraphernalia that I see around, and I'll cut out what I want to cut out. And then eventually I'll go through it and pick out what stands out to me at the time and make a collage. Okay. And just piece together whatever it is. And that helps me kind of see subconsciously as well what is going on. And so those are just different things that I can do to get out of my logical mind and just be more in the present moment. That's what we are attempting to do here. That's what we are doing. And when my skill level matches the challenge, then I'm in flow state. So like collages, I don't need the skill level of being a professional drawer or anything, or even appreciating the drawing like that. And I've come to terms with my collages, the paper just landing wherever it's going to land, and that's where it's meant to land. I don't need it perfect. I don't need to cut it the best. If something tears, smears, a lot of times I'm using Mod Podge, and so it gets ripples in the paper, and that's okay. That's just a part of it. The whole thing is just being in the present moment. It's not necessarily the outcome. I don't need a certain outcome. It's just being present in the moment. When I'm present in the moment, I can receive information. I can process out emotions. Okay. This is also why they have like kids draw and stuff too, because that kind of tells a story and not necessarily what they actually are saying out of their mouths, because that's just programming. Okay. So this is kind of seeing what comes out. Same thing with dancing and stuff. Some people start to cry when they dance, when they scream, when they shout. Okay. When we're humming and things, because it's bringing up stuff. When your vagal tone is relaxing, when your nervous system is relaxing, when you start to yawn, okay, when you start to feel a little tired, it's like your body can finally rest. Your body's not going to pack on fat now, because rest and digest means your body's going to not have to store all the foods and things, everything like that. It's going to be able to just digest it and use it in that moment, okay? Because if we're not in the moment, it's saving it for later. So it's going to pack on the fat, because we're going to need that later, because we're stressed, which means we're in danger, which means we're in survival mode. If we're in survival mode, we can't be in the present moment, because we need to protect ourselves. Okay. And that's all our brain is trying to do. And that's what we automatically revert to, is the comfort zone and safety. That's all that's happening. It's all automatic. Okay, so we need to reprogram that, though, our level of that, so that's having a new level of safety and understanding. So that's what we're doing. But here is where we want to be as often as possible. The thing is, you cannot think your way into a sense of safety. The nervous system does not speak in logical terms. That's not the language it uses. It speaks through sensations, it speaks through images, and it speaks through patterns. So when you understand this, you understand why being present is important, because when you're present, that's when the sensations are coming in. Okay? That's when you're visually seeing things or drawing it. And that's when we can recognize the patterns. We can recognize when things are coming up. And this is when we can reprogram our mind. We can change the conditioning, change the beliefs, and change the story, which is the next step. All right, is our story. But first, we need to be more in the present moment to change our state, okay? To tap into our senses, all right? And this takes a level of intimacy. So improve your skill of understanding your personal senses, okay? What does that even mean for you? Do you know? Okay? When is your flow state? What is your skill level? And be honest about it. And this can improve. And it will improve because as you continue to do something, you get better at it. So we need to improve the challenge too. That's why some things that we've been doing for a while are not working, because our skill level is improved and the challenge is not meeting that skill level now. Or it's a different area of challenge, and that skill that we were improving in doesn't work in that area of challenge. So we need to try some different things. So hopefully you've learned a few different things that you can try to use more of the right side of your brain to surpass that logical mind, so that we can tap in and reprogram ourselves to change some of that programming so that our glass ceiling is not continuing to prevent us, that we can move that glass ceiling. Because, I mean, we're human. There's always going to be something there that comes up at certain points. But now you know what to do when you get to those points. We're tapping, and this is where the magic happens. This is where we can change things. We can break the loop, that pattern. Okay. So until you learn that language, the ceiling is going to stay where it is. Okay. But we can get past that and go to a new level. When we get here, we can improve our skill level of that. And when we do, now we can tap into our story. And this is where our beliefs lie. This is where our interpretations of a lot of things lie. This is where our perspective is. And this is where we interpret what the experiences are that we have experienced and that we will experience, what we think is even possible. That's another glass ceiling at that point. Because what is it that we think is possible? Logically, we may think something is, but subconsciously, we don't truly believe it. Our body doesn't believe it, and we're not capable and able to hold that. Even if we do believe it, even if it does come in, we can't hold it. So we need to look at our story and change it and adjust that story. All right. So I hope that this video helps you. Maybe try out drawing with your non-dominant hand. Set a little timer. Again, move your body. Go for a walk. Do some collages, whatever it is for you that will tap you into your flow state. That's not going to use a lot of your logical mind. So maybe not gaming so much, because you still have to really be thinking to do that. And you're thinking about the moves and everything. But find something else that will tap you into your flow state, the present moment, to where you're not thinking about what's next and what happened in the past. We want something that's going to get us out of our logical mind, that thinking mind, and tap more into our body and being present in the moment, enjoying ourselves, having fun. Maybe at first it might not be enjoyable because the challenge is more than our skill level, but eventually it will be more enjoyable. You will start to seek it out, because that's when you actually have a peace of mind. That's when you feel better in your body and in your mind, okay? We don't want to necessarily interpret it, because again, that's our logical mind. We just want to be present and do the activity. Notice what comes out of it at the end of it. Like when we finally finish it and we're coming out of the present moment and we're starting to move into the next thing, whatever the next thing is in our life, what did come up? How do we feel afterwards? You know, and then that's when we can think about it. But in the moment, we don't want to do that. So hopefully this helped you. If it did, let me know what stuck out to you in the comments. What stage are you at? Are you ready to go to your story to change your limiting beliefs, to reprogram your mind from that past story and break past that glass ceiling that's happening? Or are you just getting more in the present moment? And what helps you if you are getting in the present moment, or have? What is something that helps you so maybe others can use that and try it out themselves? Okay, but in the next video, I'm going to go deeper in what to do in our story, reprogramming our mind on that level and breaking past that ceiling. So that's our next step. Thank you for sticking around. As always, let's breathe really quickly. We're going to go in for 4, out for 8, All right. You've done the work for today. Go out and live life, experience life. All right. Hug yourself, high five yourself, do whatever you need to do. Know that you are needed. Keep coming back to these videos. I'll keep sharing this information. We'll go deeper and really make some difference in our lives. And then we can go and impact our communities. Okay. Love you. Thank you for sticking around with me through this whole video. Let me know if you like these drawings or if you want me to get back on screen. I will. All right. So until next time, we're going to talk about a story, dive deeper into that. Take care of yourselves and continue to shine on.